All right, all right, all right. Let's go. Hopefully you guys are having an amazing Monday. I know mine is phenomenal. We got Metro2 Monday today with Mr. Brent Bradford in the house. What's up, sir? Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I know you got a lot of things going on. I know you work bell to bell. Guys, this gentleman is a straight champion, a machine, 12 to 14-hour days. I bet you there's times where you go probably 15 days straight without taking days off, huh, Brent? Probably, I bet you do.
It's not uncommon for me not to take weekends off. That is correct.
I already knew.
Actually, I got an announcement for those that are on tonight. Rodney's got a little special that he's going to offer those that are on the call tonight.
Let's go.
So hopefully we'll have people that are wanting to take that next step and see what Gala can do for them.
Awesome. Awesome. Love it. Love it. So we're going to cover a few things. We have an event that's coming up, guys. If you're in the Seattle area, an impromptu, incredible cause that we're going to be having. Highly recommend you guys go. It's going to be an exclusive event at the Smith Tower in Seattle. If you're in the local area, reach out to one of us. You can jump on the My Free Score Now partners page and you can check out the event, the details, and how to get access to that. But it's going to be really cool if you're in the Seattle area. If you're in the DC area, okay, and that's going to be Seattle's October 4th. If you're in the DC area, October 3rd, there's going to be an incredible event that's coming up at The View. You want to make sure that you're at that event. Incredible networking is going on. You have the executive team in the house. It's going to be a great experience. You have Ashley Deal and Megan that's going to be there hosting and kind of greeting people, teaching you guys how they've been able to scale their business and just accomplish some incredible things. So you don't want to miss it. So once again, October 3rd, Washington, D.C., October 4th in Seattle. Miami is coming up. Latin event, October 25th, and our Clearwater Gala. It's going to be phenomenal. All expenses paid at the hotel, and you're not going to want to miss it, man. This is going to be an invite only, so watch out. Make sure you're checking out your emails. RSVP as soon as you can when you see these events because they get packed out. Trust me, once they're full, and you're going to wish that you just took action earlier. So with that being said, that's all of our announcements. Let's bring up our speaker and trainer of the day, Mr. Brent Bradford, CEO of Quest Outsourcing, co-owner of Specialty Business Funding, experienced leader in business growth. Just gentleman is incredible. I've had enough one-on-one conversations, guys, to know, my knowledge has gone through the roof just in the few sessions that I've had with him. Just really being able to understand like what the other options are and what this process really is all about. And really how to keep it simple, how not to overcomplicate it and make it so that's something that you can actually deploy today. Like if this is your first time hearing about Gala, this is your first time learning about Metro2, trust me, these guys are incredible. They can make it. They can give you all the knowledge and be on a Zoom all day long and give you all the facts and figures and details. But at the end of the day, they can also show you how to just push a button and make some more money and get some more results. So with that being said, Mr. Brent Bradford, do we have you in the house, sir?
Well, thank you for that intro. Actually, what you just said is perfect. Gala has made things to where it's not overly complicated. You don't have to overthink things. As Raphael likes to say, just click the button. Gala has been put together in such a way that it makes it almost too easy, if that's even a way to put it. It makes it too easy to get extremely good results. In fact, we had someone today that posted in the Gala Messenger group about more deletions that they're getting. That individual's on fire. They're just getting deletions left and right, and all they're doing is clicking a button. They're not overthinking things. They're not making it overly complicated. They're letting Gala do what Gala does, and that is pick the ideal attack, the best way to approach attacking the derogatory accounts that are on an individual's credit report based on past experience and past results. It's what Rodney refers to as the LI, the learned intelligence of the software. Evaluates the credit report. It evaluates previous attacks and the results from previous attacks and determines the ideal way to attack the derogatory items on your credit report. And one of the things that I want to cover today, and I want to speak about this based on questions that I've been getting over the last week, and it's something that I personally have seen myself, when I'm generating a tax now, I'm noticing that the file or the zip file that Gala creates for me is different for every single client. One client, I may have 5 letters. Another client, I may have 8 letters. Another client, I may have 9 letters. And another client, I may have 12 letters. It really boils down to what's on the credit report and what the LI determines is the most appropriate and effective way to attack the derogatory items on that credit report. And a good example of this is if I've got a client that's got accounts with 1 to 2 late payments, and then they also have accounts that have 3+ late payments, and then let's say they have charge-offs, I'll have a separate letter for each of the 3 major CRAs just for the accounts with 1 to 2 late payments, but it could be a different attack than what was used for the accounts that have 3+ late payments and the charge-offs. That's what the LI is doing. The LI is doing the hard work for us, and it's making the decisions for us so that we don't have to overthink it. Now, I know that Rodney's going to correct me on this because I may be off a little bit, but when it comes to the LI's got 2 parts. The first part of the LI is the RDM. I'm sorry, the DRM, the Detailed Results Matrix. And that is where the software is evaluating previous attacks and it's identifying statistical data that shows what's the most effective over the previous 15 days when it comes to attacking accounts with 1 to 2 late payments, for example. And then it's making the decision to use that attack for the accounts that have 1 to 2 late payments on that credit report. Now, the second part of the LI is where the software is actually making that decision. The software is saying, okay, based on all of the statistical analysis and data that we've collected, this is the ideal approach and the most effective approach for attacking what's on this credit report. And forgive me, I do not remember what the acronym is for the second aspect of the LI. I know that you can explain it, Rodney. So we have the DRM, which is the detailed results.
Give me just a second. I'm typing something out. Give me just a moment.
Okay. But this is what sets Gala apart from everything else, is that it's not pre-programmed to just do what it's going to do. It does what it does based on analysis and based on statistical data and based on what it interprets that data to mean for potential deviations or potential deletions moving forward.
Brent, can we walk them through real quick how to start an attack?
Yes. So if you can give me the ability to share my screen, I'll go ahead and
actually, what we're gonna do today, so you guys know it, we're gonna let people actually do their own reports. They while on the call today, when they use attack up, I give them credit to them live. I don't care if they got an account right now yet or not, and we actually do it. Everybody can do an attack, and then we get as many attacks done as long as they want to stay. We do 1 attack per person at a time, and then we go through the whole shift. We're doing nothing but work hour.
There we go. You guys heard it first from Mr. Rodney Peak. But Brent Bradford, you can just walk them through how to set one up. That would be
okay. If you're interested in doing that, go ahead and put me in the chat. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure as we're preparing for that. All right, who is that? It just says I.
Well, the way we're gonna do it, Raphael, since they may or may not have credits on their own. If they use their own credits while we're doing it live, I will give their credit back to them live. If they don't have a credit live, when Brent's going with them and walking them through the process, I will give them their access to what I can do it right there live. So
okay,
putting a bunch of me's ain't gonna help none right now, I'll be honest.
Okay, we've got some me's, and then also you want to ensure that you have your customer that is active within My Free Score Now platform.
Yeah,
it has to be active. Obviously, if it's the latest version, that's best. And then, so make sure you're logged in, make sure you have your passwords ready, because you're going to import the report. You're going to set up your customer profile. You might, if you have the ID and the SSN card and the proof of that ready, that you also want to have that ready. And then we'll show you how to generate your letter.
So
anybody that has donated to that dog charity for that Bruce is so heavy about, If you've done that and you can show us proof right now, not to me, privately message Raphael, whatever, and he'll let me know, and I'll give whoever donated. I don't care what amount you donated, whether you already donated just $25 or $100, whatever. I'm gonna give you 5 free attacks, no matter what.
Wow.
Nice.
Because you went out, it shows us that you went out of your way to donate. You didn't have no real benefit outside of 1 credit, but this time you can get 5 credits even if it was only 1. So if you've already donated and before this time sent right now, don't go do it now. I mean, still go donate, but this is for people that already took action. And if you ain't already figured out, every time you take action, eventually we get to it and we help you out with it. But you gotta take action. So when Raphael tells you to do something, jump all over it, especially hit that button.
Hit the button.
Okay, so the very first thing I want to do, I have a brand new client. Let's just call my client Susie Smith, and I want to generate an attack for Susie Smith. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to click on client list on the left-hand side of the screen. And then I'm going to click add new client. Do this. So let me add her name. Okay, and her birth date is January 5th, 1991. So let's go.
And this is probably the hardest part of the whole thing.
This is the most time consuming.
Time consuming.
Okay, so the last 4 of her social, we're just going to say 4569. I don't have to put a phone number in. You can if you'd like, but you are not required to, so I'm not going to put that in. Now for her street address, I'm going to type in her street address. So let's say her street address is 1245 Jack Street. I'm going to spell out the word street. I'm not going to abbreviate it. I'm going to spell out the word street. And I'm going to keep it the way I entered.
Same thing for directions. Yeah, same thing for directions if there is any.
Yes. So if it's Northwest Jack Street, I'm going to type out the word Northwest. Yes. I'm not going to abbreviate. So
also, right, guys. So whatever you enter here, and if you decide that you want to also attack the PII, you're basically telling them that this is the personal information as you would like it to be official.
Correct. Displayed on your credit report. And actually, that is one of the things that has changed from a few weeks ago. PIs are now automatically attacked by default.
Yep.
Okay, so now it's time for the city. So we're just going to say Houston, Texas.
Houston's in Texas?
Houston, Texas. That's where I live.
I thought it was in Philadelphia.
Zip code. Okay, so for the email address, we're going to.
Yeah, so Susie Smith, you're on North Carolina.
So now I want to enter her username and password for her credit monitoring. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've got all of her personal information entered. I'm just double checking everything to make sure it's all entered. I've got her username and password for her My Free Score Now Epic Pro report. And now I want to upload her identification documents. Now, everybody does identification documents differently. I like to crop and size my documents, so I'm very particular about that. So I'm going to show you how I go about doing that. So I use Paint. I have a Windows-based computer, and Paint is a free application that comes on Windows-based computers and allows me to crop and size documents very quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my document using Paint. Okay, so let me stop sharing and then I'll share again. So this is very common of what you might receive from a client. They send you a photograph of their driver's license. They have laid it on the keyboard of their laptop. And so you've got the driver's license, but you have all of this garbage in the background. I personally don't want to send letters that have large photographs of identification documents with all of this busyness in the back. So I'm going to use my snippet tool, and I'm going to snippet just the.
Hey, snippet good. Dun, 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 dun.
That's right. So now we've got
you can snippet,
my identification document. Hopefully y'all can still all see that. I've got my driver's license. I'm going to go up here and I like to resize it. I do for driver's license and social security cards, I do 800 pixels wide. For proof of current address, I like to do 1,000 pixels wide, just because I want them large and legible on the letters. Also, by doing doing it this way, it allows me to, let me share my Gala screen again. It allows me to have very neat identification documents on the letters. That way, if a client does request copies of their letters, I don't feel bad about sending them, or I don't feel guilty for sending them and they not look professional, because I try to operate as a professional and I want everything that I do to kind of display that I'm a professional. So now I'm going to upload those documents that I just created. So I've got my driver's license, I've got my social, and I've got my utility bill. Now on the utility bill, you don't need to upload the entire utility bill. I upload what is referred to as a payment coupon, which is usually the bottom third of a utility bill. And it shows the individual's first and last name, their current address, and then it shows who the bill's from, so you know that it's a legitimate source of proof of address. And of course, like I said, I crop and I size that to 1,000 pixels wide. So now I'm going to save my client profile. And it's going to save the profile, and it's going to upload the Epic Pro report for the client. Okay, there she is, Susie Smith. So I have Susie Smith. Now I'm ready to, so just so everyone can see what her profile looks like. I've got all of her personal identifier information, and I've got my 3 proof of address, or 3 identifications documents uploaded. So I have the driver's license, social security card, and the proof of current address. So now I'm ready to generate my attack. I go to attack area, and Gala is going to automatically be set up for my first round. So you can see Susie Smith's name is here. Just so that now all you have to do is click create now, and that's going to generate your attack. You don't even have to think about anything. But just so that everyone has an understanding, I'm going to expand so that you can see what we're doing. Okay, so you can see Gala's telling us this is our first round. We're attacking her public records. We're attacking charge-offs and collections. We're attacking accounts that have 1 to 2 late payments and accounts that have 3+ late payments. We're attacking her bad inquiries and good inquiries. Now, these aren't best inquiries. These are good inquiries. These are inquiries that are not necessarily attached to a negative account. Okay, personal identifiers, that other, which is, unknown general issues or negativity. So by default, Gala has determined that we're going to attack with TransUnion, Experian, Equifax, Innovis, and LexisNexis, the creditors, and then this right here, anything that's been manually entered. If I have a client that I know has a bankruptcy, I'm going to include these 2. That way I can ensure that I generate that letter that is that Gala will create for the courts. Come down here, we're attacking with all 3 bureaus. We're doing a 3B, and right here it says attack format type. We have added this new category, which is currently most statistically optimal attack. And what this means is when I generate the attack, Gala is going to determine what attack is ideal based on what's on that credit report. So I may have 3 letters that are generated using the lava attack, and then I may have 3 letters that are generated using the EPA mix attack. It just depends on what's on that credit report and what the LI has determined is the most effective attack based on that information.
That's right.
Okay, so now I'm ready to generate my letters. So I'm going to create my letters. Now, I personally do not send letters to data furnishers. That's what this pop-up is in reference to. That's because the software is not able to identify who that creditor is.
Let me explain this part, please, since you don't do this part. That way it makes me right. This pops up anytime your account that has a data reporter, your account itself has a data reporter indicated, but the creditor contact also has your creditor information. If the creditor information on the account and the creditor information in the creditor contact area is duplicate, but yet not exactly the same, it will have this pop up because the software don't want to pick the wrong choice. So what you do is if you ain't gonna, if you like Raphael, like Brent said, if you're not going to be using the attacks that are the data parameters, just skip it, hit generate. But what you can do is go in there and find the one you actually wanted to go to. Like go back where we just did, Brent.
Right.
So if you see in this case here, there's 2 neighborhood federal units and things on there. That means that in the data furniture area or in the credit content area, those are listed twice. So look at the different addresses on it and pick the one you think is the best.
Right. And then you just click generate. So now Gala is generating my attack. And then once the zip file downloads, I will open that up and show you what Gala has done.
Right. And if you don't pick a data furnisher for the right one, it'll leave it blank for you, highlight it yellow, so you don't mess up and actually send something you ain't supposed to send.
How do you know which one to choose?
The same way the software would know. It wouldn't know. You have to know. In that case, so what it is, your report sometimes might have a Bank of America as the account, and at bottom have like 3 addresses for Bank of America. The software can't know which one it is unless it matches up exactly. It might have, like for example, you might have your account say Bank of America 123 Main Street, and down in the credit contacts there is no 123 Main Street. It might be 567 Main Street. In that case, you got to go with what the client says or what your research has said, because the report is not going to be accurate in that case. And it's not MyFreeScoreNow's fault either. They get the information delivered from them from the bureaus, and it's really not even the bureau's fault. It comes down to the creditor that provides the information, and sometimes they send multiple, and they do it on purpose for obvious reasons.
And a lot of times it'll say Bank of America on the actual negative account, but down below it'll say BOA. It's still Bank of America, but the software is not matching those 2 up as being the same.
Right.
Okay. So now
so human intelligence and artificial intelligence.
Now I will tell you, I personally do not send letters to creditors. So I just click generate. I don't even go through the selection process. I just click generate. And when it comes to printing and mailing the letters, I just don't print out and mail those letters. Okay. So now I've generated the attack. So now let me open the zip file and show you what's happened.
Excuse me.
Yes, go ahead.
What was it that you said? Because I missed that for the bankruptcy. What was the letter? If you could just, that you said.
I have an example that I'm going to show you.
Okay.
And I'll show you what Gala does when there's a bankruptcy. Okay, so let me stop sharing and I'll share.
Hey, Brent, real quickly on what you just mentioned about the you don't send, because I do the same thing. I only do major 3 bureaus and the secondaries. I don't do nothing else. But I've had it with this is M2 Phenom that it printed out the ones with no destination. How do we make sure that we don't select?
If you want to send those letters that don't have anything at the top, you can handwrite the name and address on there.
But if I don't want to print them to like kind of save that, deselect or
right here where right here where it says blank, that is what Rodney is referring to. So let me open that and I'll show you.
But what his question for you, Brent, was like, how do you avoid the letters even popping up? And that would be in the attack option area. You would deselect.
There's an option to deselect that, and I'll show you. So this is an example of a letter that does not have any data at the top because I didn't.
But you also don't have to print them, right? Even if they download.
Correct.
John, you could still have them in your file and save them. You don't have to print all the letters that it populates.
Correct.
Right.
So here's my zip file. As you can see, I've got this particular client. I've got 9 letters, or I'm sorry, I've got 8 letters. And you can see I've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I've got 2 letters for each of the 3 main CRAs. I've got 2 for Experian, 2 for Equifax, 1 for TransUnion. One of these letters where it says right here, delinquent, that means that this letter is specifically for accounts that have 1 to 2 late payments. These letters here have all the other negative accounts on them. So these letters here have the charge-offs and collections accounts if there's 3+ late payments. And this letter here is just for accounts that have 1 to 2 late payments. And then I've got 2 letters for secondary bureaus. I've got a Novus and LexisNexis. What I've been noticing is that sometimes I have letters for Novus and LexisNexis. Sometimes I have letters for Novus, LexisNexis, and Clarity Services. Sometimes I have letters for even more secondary bureaus. But Gala is making that decision for me. So Gala has determined that, and right here, if we look, this says, I'm trying to see if it's showing me. I'm not seeing. So this is SIA. So this is the attack that Gala used. The SIA attack is what Gala used on this particular attack. Sometimes it'll say lava. Sometimes it'll say EPA mix. Sometimes you'll have a mixture. Some will say lava. Some will say EPA mix, or some will say SIA. It's the LI making the determination of what is going to be the most effective attack based on statistical data that it has collected over attacks executed over the previous 15 days.
That are similar to your report, yep.
Very similar to your report, correct. So now explain what the second part of the LI is, Rodney. I know it's an acronym. It's
okay, you got LI and you got SI. SI is like a learned intelligence from the learned intelligence. So LI, learned intelligence, goes from actual results that actually happen and makes predictions on that. SI deduces from that. For example, I can teach you that 1 or 2 times 2 is 4, and that 2 times 4 is 8, and then 8 times 2 is 16, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But if I stop at, I stop at 32 times 2 is 64. Well, you've been watching the process, and you can deduce that, geez, if all those cases, when I multiplied, doubled, or tripled, or whatever it did, the pattern, you can say, geez, maybe 264 times 2 is blah, blah, blah. So that's all it's doing.
Right. Correct.
So but, it's just doing LI on a tertiary level, if you will. Right. Think about a graph. You got a north, you got a south. Now you got a third one. You got one going up and down, left and right. But now you have a third one that's going front and back. That would be SI.
So SI is basically taking the data that's been collected, and it's making the decision on exactly how to execute the attack based on previous results. Correct?
What was that again?
The LI is it's learning based on previous results what's most effective, and the LI is where it's actually executing the attack based on those results.
Right. Well, I'm gonna type it out real fast to make it a little easier for you.
Okay. So let me show you another example. So I've got another example of an attack that was done, and it's got a little bit different results in terms of the okay, so here we have one, and you notice that there's 10 letters, okay? And you notice that on all of these letters, the EPA mix was used, but you notice that there's 1, 2, 3 for the primary, and then we've got 9 for the secondaries, and then we have 1 for which says US. And if I open that letter, we'll see that that is for the bankruptcy court. And that is where the software has created a letter that you can send to the bankruptcy court for that bankruptcy. So here we see that it's for the bankruptcy court. So the software is going to make the correct decision on what needs to be done for your attack based on what's on that credit report. So, you know, as Raphael said, all you have to do is just click the button. I mean, the software is going to do everything for you. You don't have to do any kind of analysis. You don't have to make any assumptions or make any guesses. Let the software do all of that for you. I know it's a very difficult thing to do. That was the hardest thing for me to do when I first started using Metro2, was to kind of be hands off and let the software do what it wants to do. But I can promise you that it's going to do what it wants to do, and it's going to actually get you the best results, because the software knows better than us of what needs to be done based on that credit report, based on what's working and what's not working from previous attacks. So when it comes to executing an attack, is there anything specific anyone's having trouble understanding? So let me just click a client again, and we'll go to the expansion, and So like I said, if you want, you can include factor trust, you can include clarity, you can include data X. You don't have to. Initially, in the beginning, all 6 secondary bureaus were being included by default, but in conversations that I've had with Rodney, the LI has determined that that's not necessarily necessary to get the results that by including data X and clarity services and core logic and factor trust, that, you know, including a Novus and LexisNexis is more than enough. And did you want to speak to that, Rodney, at all?
Yeah, hang on. I'm typing something out. Give me just a second. Go, keep going.
Okay.
Can I just say something? I would print. I save all the letters, because even if you don't want to send them now, you could send them for the future, and you already use that token. I was just saying, if you do it later, then you're gonna have to use another token for like round.
Correct.
Saying so.
And you have the ability, if you click attack history, you have the ability, you know, so right here, I clicked attack history. It shows all the attacks that I've done. So if I click on Susie, it shows all the attacks I've done for Susie, and I can simply click the link and it downloads that folder. So if you want to do, like you mentioned, if you want to send letters to creditors at some time in the future, you can download a previous attack and then print and mail those letters. Absolutely.
Exactly. Because it doesn't have to, it gives you that option if you want to include the date.
I'll say that again, the date?
Yeah, you don't have to have the date on the letters. I see that I remember checking the checkbox saying no date.
That's news to me. I'm not aware of that. Is that an option, Rodney?
That is.
It is? Okay. I've not noticed that.
Yeah, because I don't use the date.
Well, yeah. And I know people that edit dates and all of that, and that's not necessary. You can generate an attack, and if you don't get around to mailing that attack for a week, it's not going to make a difference in terms of the date that's actually on the letters.
No, it wouldn't. It would not.
Yeah. So let me go back to attack area. So yeah, so we're, you know, like I said, we've got, so if you decide that you do not want to generate letters for creditors, you can deselect it right here. But by default, that is selected. And another option that I want to mention, again, this is strictly if this is something that you want to take advantage of, it's not a requirement, but you can have the letters printed and mailed for you. And you would just click yes. And then you're going to get a pop-up. You're going to enter your information. Then you would click continue, and it allows you to generate the attack. Now, it's not uncommon for someone to generate an attack and they want the letter or the invoice for the letters to be printed and mailed, sent to their client instead of sent to them. And you would just put in your client's information. So you would put your client's name, your client's email address, and your client's phone number. That way, when the attack is generated, when the PAMS provider receives that order, it'll have the client's information for that order, so that the invoice is sent directly to them instead of to you. So you have that ability to make that adjustment if you're utilizing PAMS and you want the invoice sent to someone other than yourself. So there's a lot of attacks. You may not be aware of how many different attacks are available within Gala, and this is just to show you, but by default, it's set to where it's going to select the most statistically optimal attack based on what's on that credit report. And it could vary. It could be some letters are going to be using the lava attack, for example, and some letters may be using the fire attack. So it's not going to be a one fits all. It could be where all letters that are generated are using the EPA mix attack, or all letters that are generated
or all using completely different ones, or each one of them different ones. Absolutely
correct. But the system, that's what by default the system is selecting the currently most statistically optimal attack.
Right, for that particular item in the report. That's right.
Correct. You know,
and
but
that's
again,
one advantage. That's one advantage of using the CMSO as opposed to picking yourself. If you pick yourself, you're only getting, when you're limiting yourself to one attack only. So let's say a charge off for Neighborhood Federal Credit Union is better used for lava, but maybe a charge off for JCPenney is better used for EPA mix. when you're picking individually by yourself, you can't pick it like that. Whereas the software will do that. The software will allow itself to pick any one or more attack combinations as possible based on your report. Also, it will override any, excuse my language here, but what it just deems as idiotic decisions. Like if you say, you know what, I'm going to force an inquiry to be with this charge off, and if it has a history of showing that that's not working very well for you, the software will not allow to have it. No, it won't. It will let you think you're doing that, but in the background, it said, no, we're going to do it this way because it's not the right way of doing it.
Right.
It's kind of foolproof. I mean, you like Raphael said, and my first out, they said, hey, we want something. They just go in there, click the button, and that's it. We don't even want to have to pick the client. They don't have to. So you can literally just go in there and click create now. It's going to do the exact same thing that Rodney Pete would do, and that's exactly what it does. So if you don't do anything else, and you ain't got all you got is 1 second, and you got to get out of there, click create now and get out of there. Be done. You're good. It's that easy. It will create exactly what Rodney Pete does.
That's what I'm maybe I'm not understanding what they're asking. What do you? Let me see who asked that question. Christopher, what are you referring to when you say QA code?
Yeah, you're talking about a little thing that has like you can skim over with your phone, that kind of code.
I'm not familiar with the QA code that I'm thinking of, like you're referring to.
We don't have one. Do we even have one in here?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Maybe it's on the attack area. Maybe it's on the homepage or something. I don't know. Maybe for that donation. Let me see. I can't recall, to be honest.
So this is the home area. I'm not seeing a QA code.
No, I think that's for the dog donation.
Oh, the dog.
Oh, okay. The pop-up. Yeah.
It's a QR code, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah. That's so that you can make that donation.
Yes.
Yeah, I donated last week. It's a worthy cause. If you're a pet lover, it's definitely a worthy cause. And
absolutely.
Why wouldn't you do it? I mean, if you're going to be purchasing credits,
why not? Costing them.
Why not help out?
Them. Yeah, it ain't costing them. I mean,
exactly. Why not do it? Absolutely.
I just added the link for whoever asked that. The link is in the chat so they can donate to the foundation.
Yeah, anybody on call right now, I'm gonna let you guys. If you guys donate right now, for every $25 you give, I will give you 5 credits for free if you donate to this right here in this link and give proof to Raphael during this call. After this call is over, it's too late. So during this call, for every $25 you send, I will give you 5 free credits. That's literally come down to $5 a credit. But you're not paying for credits, you're paying for donation. But it's worth it for me because my biggest partner, thinks it's important, so I think it's important.
Gotta save the dogs.
That's
absolutely.
Right. And if anybody had a dog for a long amount of time, you'll know your dog is as important to you as a child is.
Absolutely.
Sometimes more. Let me stop.
Absolutely.
And dogs more loyal to your children, I promise you.
Okay, I wanted to mention this right here. You see it says into Gala Client Portal. If you want to send this link to a client, so you sign up a brand new client, you can send this link to the client. The client can then log in or register a profile using this link. They can create their profile and upload their identification documents. That way, all you have to do is double check all of their information, make sure nothing's missing, and then you can generate the attack for them. I personally like to create my client's profile, but that's just me. But it's very popular. People do like to send a link to a client. So you have that ability to send a link to the client so that the client can register and create their own profile and upload their own documents. So you have that ability. I want to show y'all one thing real quick. I talk about it a lot, but it's kind of a big thing for me. And I think it's where my OCD kind of plays in. But I'm real particular about my identification documents. And so the reason I crop and share is because I want my identification documents to be large and legible like they are here. So they're large and they're legible. It's not uncommon for me to see letters where someone has taken a screenshot of a utility bill and then they upload that entire screenshot. And then on the actual letter, it's like 2 inches big and it's not legible. Because when we're doing the printing and mailing, when we're putting together the invoice, we're actually looking at all the letters and making sure that the information in the profile matches up with the information on the identification documents. And it's not uncommon for me to have to enlarge a document 3 or 4 times before I can actually read what's on the proof of address document. So for me, it's just something that I'm very particular about. I want my identification documents to be large and legible. That's why I crop, and that's why I size my identification documents. Now, some people will take all 3 documents and lay them together. So they'll have the proof of address, and then above it, they'll have the driver's license and social security card next to each other. And they take one image and then they crop and upload that one image. That's an option as well. So, you can do it however you feel is best, but just be mindful that the size of the document's not too large, because if it's too large, it gets compressed. Or if it's too small, it comes out very small. I've seen it to where people have uploaded a driver's license, and the driver's license, you can't even make out the picture on the driver's license because it's so small on the letter. So this is just something that I pay very close attention to. And that's why I'm really adamant about cropping and sizing your identification documents. And again, if a client asks for copies of their letters, I have zero problem sending a client copies of their letters, but I want the letters to look professional. And to me, this looks professional. Having letters where the identification documents are really small, or it's not uncommon for a driver's license to be upside down or sideways, to me, that's not professional. You act as if you're a professional, and in people's eyes, you are professional. Perception is reality. If people perceive you as professional, you're professional. If they perceive you as not being professional, then you're not professional. And, the identification documents may seem like a very small thing, but it can, play a big role in people's first impressions of you.
Hey, Brent.
Yes.
Hey, Mr. Terry, you have 2 accounts. I need you to type which account you're talking about. Because you have, you got 2 on the same email address. I need to know your exact username that you donate with, so I can go ahead and give you credit. In fact, this is the yeah, do that.
Okay. So, to answer your question, Christopher, yes, if you donate 50, you'll get 10 credits. While Rodney's working on that, does anyone have any questions specifically to generating an attack? I want to make sure that we address, all questions that anyone may have when it comes to generating an attack, because the last thing we want you to do is to utilize a credit and not get exactly what you're hoping to get for the attack. Okay, someone just sent me a message. Yes, you can still include the additional secondary bureaus that are not selected by default. So if you want to add, Data X, if you want to add Factor Trust and CoreLogic, you definitely can. So when you're generating the attack, so let's go to the attack area. When you're generating the attack, you would do expand options, and then you would show this, and then you would come down here and you would include Factor Trust, Clarity Services, Data X, and CoreLogics. So you have that ability to add secondary bureaus that are not added by default. One thing that we have mentioned quite a bit on previous calls, and it's something that I've actually started doing myself, is I'm selling my clients when I'm talking to prospects on the phone about signing up for my credit repair services, I am mentioning that I do not only focus on the primary 3, that I also focus on the 6 largest secondaries. And that seems to be something that people really like. They like the fact that I'm not just going to focus on the primaries, that I'm also focusing on the 6 largest secondaries, because, we all know of Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, but the truth is Enovis is just as large as they are. They are known as the 4th, credit reporting agency. So it'll only benefit to attack these derogatories with them, because they have their own credit reports. LexisNexis has a credit report on you, and a creditor can easily pull your credit report with LexisNexis as they can with Experian or Equifax or TransUnion. So that is something that I've been doing the last few weeks is, making sure that prospects understand that I'm not only focused on the primaries, but I'm also focused on the 6 largest secondaries. And it's really seemed to be something that people like. And I've even had people tell me that they've hired me, even though I was more expensive than somebody else, because they feel that they're going to get more service from me than they would from the other person. So you have that ability to include these additional secondary bureaus that are not selected by default. And that's one of the great things, about Gala is you have that ability. If you know your client's got a bankruptcy, I would add all of the secondaries regardless, because, bankruptcies are not reported to the primary 3 by the course. They're reported to the primary 3 by secondary bureaus. And if these secondary bureaus have their own credit reports, they're going to have that bankruptcy on that credit report as well. So I want to attack that bankruptcy with them as well as the primaries. Wow, lots of people are donating. That's awesome.
Yeah, Rafi, I sent you a message. I need you to check it, please.
I see a lot of people asking that if it's just PayPal or Venmo. Are those the only?
We don't care how you pay. We don't care how you pay.
No, because it's not letting me do either one. Like I tried doing it last time, and I'm like, why didn't I donate it? And I'm like, now that I'm trying to log in, I keep trying to reset my password, and I haven't used either one for years. So I'm like, I don't have no other number. So I'm like, let me just see if there's another way where we could Zelle or maybe go through like a.
Yeah, can I Zelle or Cash App, because I don't have Venmo or PayPal.
Okay, you donate from the donation site. The donation site is for this call's donations, so that would be for the donation call.
So if you have a PayPal account, it lets you.
You can use PayPal, and when you use PayPal, you can enter credit card information.
Yes, or your checking account, whatever you're sending it through.
Correct.
Because that's what I just did.
So guys, I'm gonna not give the credit during a live call because it's overwhelming me. I don't want to mess up and not give somebody their credits. But I've already gave, I think, 2 people their credits. So if you're the one that ain't got your credits yet, don't worry, you will have it tonight. Raphael's gonna go through here and pull this list for me.
Okay, Kristen.
How do I do that? All right, we'll
y'all send the information to Raphael.
So yeah, send your screenshot to my email. I can help Rodney out. My email is, I'm gonna put it on the chat. It's real simple. It's my first name, Raphael, Rafael, at myfreescorenow.com. Send me the screenshot and the email address to your Gala account, and then that way I can give it to Rodney.
Rafa, is there a way for them to? Is there a way for them to Zelle or no?
Through the donation link, not that I can see. Not that I can see through the donation link.
Okay, but how can we Zelle? Because right now it's asking me to create a PayPal account.
Well, I don't think you have to have a PayPal account. You can enter credit card information, pay through PayPal using a credit card.
Okay, it's asking me all that information.
No, you have to create an account because
you do? Okay.
Yes,
yeah,
you have to create
I just had my account on there, and that's why I was able to do it through my checking.
I don't have a PayPal or Venmo, so I can Zelle or Cash App.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not too sure if they have Zelle or Cash App, but I can call the foundation right now. Give me about 5 minutes. But as of now, those are just the 2 places they directed.
Wonderful. It'll be great.
Yeah,
or just have someone else make the donation for you, and then you Zelle or Cash Out the person who made the donation for you.
That's true. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna let you Zelle. They're making a big thing out of those things.
Yeah. So Kristen, I'm gonna put
my my Zelle information on here. You guys send it to me. I will forward it to the My Free School Now team to be sent out to donations.
Oh, okay.
Let me do that real fast.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, Brent,
let me find it. So Kristen asked a question. Do you need to upload the supporting documents before running the reports? Before you generate the attack, yes, you do. However, if you generate the attack and you have not uploaded the identification documents, you can include copies of those with the letters that you mail out. However, if you upload them, then they're going to be saved to that profile. So every time you generate an attack for that individual, the identification documents will be on the letters.
I have a question, Brent.
Yeah, sure.
One token, you can do all 3 bureaus, right?
Well, one token, you can do all 3 of the primaries, and you can include 6 of the largest secondaries.
6 of the large secondaries, but
yeah. So like if I'm generating an attack for this individual, okay, by default, I've got TransUnion, Experian, Equifax, Innovis, and LexisNexis. I can include Factor Trust, Clarity Services, DataX, and CoreLogic as well. So when I generate my attack, I'm going to have 9 letters, but I may have more than 9 letters because if I've got accounts that have 1 to 3 late payments, the software may generate separate letters for those accounts. So I could have 11 letters or I could have 12 letters, but if, for example, your client just has charge-offs, collections, and accounts with 3+ late payments, if I select all of these 9, I will have 9 letters.
9 letters per
No,
bureau.
1 letter per. So I'd have 1 letter for TransUnion, 1 for Experian, 1 for Equifax, 1 for Innovis, LexisNexis, Factor Trust, Clarity Services, DataX, and CoreLogic.
So I have to mail 9 different ones.
9 different letters, absolutely, because there's 9 different bureaus that you're sending letters to.
Okay.
Now you don't have to, right? But
no, you don't have
could.
to. If all you want to do is TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, that's all you have to print and mail.
Now the difference is that there's the 3 primary bureaus, but that information also resides on secondary bureaus. So
right,
if you get it removed or corrected in one, it could still exist in the secondary bureaus. So
absolutely,
so that if the way that we always talk about this is, when you do your value add to your customers, right? How I don't know how much you charge them, but a big differentiator is that you not only are you going to send the attacks to the primary, but you're also including the 6 secondary bureaus, so that you really are able to kind of throw the net really wide and get those things corrected or removed from wherever they reside.
Leave them in there, did you?
Yeah, and that's what I was just
you
talking
can use
about.
as an upsell. You can also use that as an upsell for your business.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I started including that with prospects that I've been talking with over the last few weeks, and it's really seemed to make a difference. I've had a couple of people that signed up with me that told me specifically the reason they did was because I was offering to include the 6 additional secondaries, even though I was more expensive than someone else they were talking with. So they saw the value add of including the 6 largest secondaries. And you have to understand that creditors don't just pull from Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. I've had it where they've pulled credit reports from LexisNexis, and I've had them pull credit reports from Innovis. So, you're truly servicing your client if you include the secondaries, but you don't have to. Everything is a choice.
Miss Keisha B, can you please put your phone on mute?
Hey, Brent. B.
Yes.
When it comes to,
I
mean, to me, 1 token, you can send up to 9 letters per bureau, and secondary, that's what I would do.
I generated an attack Friday where there was actually 12 letters because I had 2 letters for each of the 3 primaries, and then I had the 6 secondaries because my client had accounts that had 1 to 2 late payments as well. And so Gala created a separate letter for those accounts. So I had 12 letters for that one client, but I've had it to where I've generated and I've had 5 letters. So, it's going to be different, but you do have some control. So if you decide that you want to include the secondaries, you absolutely have that ability, and, you could have 9 letters. So you have the 3 primaries and 6 secondaries. Absolutely.
Can I make a suggestion for people that just get started? An easy way to do things, and your client will be happy with you still, and it'll save you a lot of money. Offer them, the 3, mail out for them the 3 bureaus, and then just, hey, you know what? I've already created other letters for you. Would you like these letters? And let them themselves mail the other ones out. That way, it don't cost you any more money, and also it makes them feel like they're getting more bonus because now you're sending them downloadable document they can read and see, and they know themselves what's going on, and they know they got mailed out. And
yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Or even
So
offer as
oh,
we do 3 normally, but we create all the letters if you want them all sent out. We can, for extra $5. Don't be crazy. Make it where they want to use the letters. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
like, hey, my normal price is $97 a round, but if you want extra letters, for each letter, give me $5 or $3 or whatever it is. Just make it where it's appealing to them.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, why not make money at doing it, but yet not rip nobody off? And you've already did the work; it's already been done. It's not like you're doing any more work.
And it's not costing you any
But
additional
if you're
credits.
right, if you're a startup,
Yeah, if you're a startup, use everything that you can. Absolutely.
cost and milling everything out. Number one, time let them mill their own stuff out, and they will.
Absolutely.
So the default doesn't include the secondaries when you just using the default. It does not include.
It depends on the client. Like I said, by default, I know that LexisNexis and Innovis are included.
Right. It would always
I
be.
also have seen where by default, sometimes it includes Clarity Services. It's just like, every individual's credit report is different, but you have the ability. So by default, this is what you see. You see TransUnion, Experian, Equifax, and Innovis, LexisNexis, and then you have the creditors or data furnishers. You can easily add these additional secondaries. And if you know your client's got a bankruptcy, I would include the
you guys see how he's hovering over it and it has a pop up. If you hover over it long enough, it'll tell you exactly what that account is. So you ain't gotta wonder what it is. It'll tell you exactly what it is, word for word, and you ain't gotta guess, what kind of creditors is.
Yeah, exactly. So you have that ability, and like I said, I'm including all the secondaries because that's how I'm selling my service now. Is that I'm not just disputing the derogatories with the primaries. I'm also disputing them with the 6 largest secondaries.
Okay, and that's all included in the one token?
Absolutely. Yeah. Whatever is checked here, letters will be created for.
Yep.
Okay, hey, and then one other question. Oh, I'm sorry. I just have one more question. And if I wanted you to mail them, which I was saying was it would just be an extra little fee because I usually have you mail.
Yeah, there's a fee per letter. Absolutely, yes.
Oh.
Brent?
Yes.
I think that's very cheap. I mean, even if it went back from 25 to 35, I mean, it's great. My question is that there's the AI that does all in each bureau, right? When AI sees the credit report, it spits out what it should be, the letters.
So what the LI is doing is the LI is evaluating results from attacks that have been done over the previous 15 days. And it's determining based on the results from its analysis, what's the most effective way to attack a charge-off? What's the most effective way to attack an account that has 1 to 2 late payments? And so when we generate our attack, the software is going to attack those derogatories based on those results. So you could generate an attack and some of your letters could be using the EPA mix attack, whereas others are using the lava attack.
Correct.
And yeah, so the software literally makes all the decisions for us. Absolutely.
Right. Some letters might have charge-offs mixed with late payments. Some of them might have inquiries mixed with public records. Some might have a complete mixture, and some might have series on 4 different letters in different places because it might be different types of accounts. So I put a priority list on here above what it tells you what it decides by when I first got on a call. Let me roll up to you. I told you the exact order.
I've looked at I probably looked at 50 files today, and some of the files there were, let's just say 6 letters. 3 of those letters may have 5 pages. 1 letter had 18, another one had 12, and another one had 16. The page count is different for all the letters because of what Rodney just stated. Some things are being combined with one another on one letter. So that letter may be a little bit longer than another letter because it's not combining some things. So, but the letter counts are never going to get outrageous.
All right, the priority list in order the software first determines what the creditor is, the reporter, then decides what bureau it's going to. The third thing decides is what primary negativity type. Then it goes in what's the secondary negativity type. Then it asks what the primary industry type is, because all these have different criteria. Then it asks what the secondary industry type is. Then it asks the age of the account. Then it goes into the portfolio type code. Then it goes into all different things. But those are the 8 first things it decides. So based on these 8 priorities, that's why things change so much, because it looks at each individual item, account, if you will, and decides, hey, based on this, how we're going to attack it. So you if you got 30 items on your report, you literally could theoretically have 30 letters. Typically don't do that, because typically a lot of things are are similar enough that they'll just clump them together. But you literally could. You just don't always.
Yeah, I haven't seen more than 12 letters. That's the most I've seen.
And if you were here when we first started doing this way back in December, there was at times it would be 50 or 60 letters. So it's learning and learning and learning, and eventually it'll probably get down to just 4 letters or 5 letters, because it's on the side for these accounts. Maybe I don't need the secondary because it's not scoring high enough.
Right.
So that's doing that.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive what it does. I mean, it's like I said, it makes it so easy that we don't even really need to think about what we're doing.
Right. So if you pick extra buttons, all you're doing is adding to the effectiveness. You're not taking nothing from it. So let's say you're adding more destinations. You're not hurting the attack at all. When you do take some away, you are affecting the AI, because the AI is based on what the software thinks is being done. So let's say you go ahead and create the creditor letters out there. The AI on software thinks that you're using those letters. So when your results come back, it's going to add that into the query for, this guy used the creditor letters too. So it does affect that in a way. So if you're not going to use the creditor letters, my preference would be you just unclick them so you don't have to use them at all. That way, but that's just helping me out on my side. I don't, I ain't gonna say it's a big deal. But there's a lot of parameters to decide everything. Literally, you guys, believe it or not, every time you create that, you are creating the software. When you see all the attacks out there, I only generated, when I first created software, maybe 7 attacks to start off with. I think it was like, what
it was like, I think initially there were 3.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, fast. Yeah, that's right. And it grew and grew and grew. But in the first month, there was maybe 7. And that's all there was. So all these extra attacks you see, it's the software creating new attacks based on the clump of things it's seeing. Like, hey, instead of us just using that, we're just going to create a specialty for this. So the software is creating its own thing. So over time, it may be as much as 1,000 or 10,000 different attacks. You don't have to worry about that, because it's, you treat the CSMO, it will pick the best option for each item as possible, based on statistical analysis, not by our opinion.
Hey, Brent.
Yes, sir.
When you were saying that you got back with the customer and said, look, if you want the extra letters as secondary, Lexus, whatever, etc., you would charge extra for that. How much would you charge?
Well, that was Rodney that said that. I'm pitching that as part of my service. I'm not just going to dispute your derogatory accounts with the primaries. I'm also disputing them with the 6 largest secondaries. But what Rodney was saying is, you could say I dispute with Experian Equifax TransUnion, but I've also created letters for the 6 largest secondaries. If you would like those letters, I can include those for an additional $25 per round.
Or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and give them the option whether they want that or not. And people, somebody just messaged me, what I charge, this is me. I know people that charge a lot more than this, and I know people that charge less than this. I charge $250 setup and processing, which includes the first month, and then I charge $200 a month after that. My average client is with me 6 months. Some people, they may get where they want to be in 3 months or 4 months. Other people, it may take 7 months. My average client is with me for 6 months.
That is cheap. I mean, $200, I would think more than that.
Yeah. like I said, I know people that charge a lot more than me, and I know people that charge less than me.
Well,
I have
what
learned.
charge is not going to decide your business, believe it or not. I mean, you would think so, but it doesn't.
This is just from everyone's experience is different. Everyone's mileage, varies. My experience is that the more I charge, the better quality client I get, but I still want to be affordable for the people that need me. That's why I've settled on the pricing that I have. I've also learned that the less you charge, when you are cheap, you're going to get clients that you necessarily don't want.
The bigger the headache.
I have a client. He's a great guy. He's an older gentleman, and I swear on this, he calls me no less than 15, 20 times a month asking for updates. And, not every client's a good client. So, I have my pricing where I feel it kind of weeds out the people that I don't necessarily want as a client, but it's affordable for the people that need me.
The less they pay, the bigger the headache.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Not every client's a good client. And also I don't want a client that's looking for cheap credit repair because, it's not uncommon. I see this quite a bit. You have someone that signs up because someone's got a promotion or a special, and then the next month they're signing up with someone else. And then the month after that, they're signing up with someone else. They're just looking for people that are running promotions or specials because they want cheap credit repair. And those are the kind of clients that continue to have late payments. Those are the clients that don't keep their credit monitoring active. And, we need our clients that, have their credit monitoring current every single month because we want to ensure that we're using the most up-to-date, Epic Pro report every time we generate that attack. And one thing that I've started doing it within the last couple of weeks. For personal clients, I am doing attacks every 15 days. For my outsourcing clients, I am doing every 30 days, but for personal clients, I'm doing it every 15 days. And, I'm looking forward to seeing, how much of a difference it makes. And that's another selling feature that you can use. You can sell to your clients, look, we're sending out disputes every 15 days on your behalf. And, so you can use that as a way to separate yourself and value add your service, that you're not only disputing every 30 days, but you're disputing every 15 days. And you can use the secondary bureaus as a value add. So, if you can, separate yourself from everybody else, you could charge a little bit more and people are going to not have a problem paying that additional cost for your service.
Yep.
Because like I said, I know people charge a lot more than I do.
Results, remember guys, once they see the results, get a testimonial, post that, and then they'll also give you a referral, most likely.
Right. And it's important to note, you may not get results every single round for every single client.
They might not even open a letter. They might not even open a letter.
Yeah. I mean, you're not, Rodney has said this for years and I 100% agree with him. You really cannot evaluate your results until you've done, attacks over 120 days, Rodney, or maybe a little bit longer, 160 days?
120 days is when the first time I evaluate results at all. I mean, I can see them beforehand, but I don't do a deep evaluation, deep dive, and considerations until day 120, which is the end of my 6th attack, and it's the day before my 7th attack if I need it.
Right. That's 6 attacks if you're doing every 15 days. If you're doing every 30 days.
It's not every 15. There's only 2 extra attacks, Brent. It's day 15 and day 16 and day 46. Otherwise, it's exactly the same as anybody else's.
Right. So, yeah, you don't want to, because you have to understand the CRAs don't have 30 days to investigate. They could take 45 days. So you always need to keep that in mind. So regardless of results, whether I get results or I don't get results, I do my next round or my next attack when it's time to do that next attack.
Exactly.
Which previously was every 30 days. Now for my personal clients, I'm doing I'm doing my first attack, and then on day 16, I'm doing my second attack. On day 30, or 31, I'm doing my third attack, and so on. Yeah. But so I'm doing my next attack when it's time to do that next attack, regardless of results, because it may be time to do my next round and the investigations haven't been completed yet by the CROs, but I'm still sending out my next attack.
How do you keep track of in this software, how are you keeping track of that?
Well, the software knows what round it is. So like, for example, if I'm doing an attack and we're going to do this client
No.
here.
I mean like in the
I use a CRM to manage my client base, and I have it set up in my CRM on a 15-day rotation now. So every morning I log into my CRM and it tells me who's due for their next round.
What question? You have it set up like that.
I'm sorry?
You have it set up like that?
I do, yes.
So, Brent, the second round, I mean, I know you don't wait. You say only 15 days. So AI knows the last offer.
Right. So for example, I just pulled up this client, Desiree. If I go to my expand options and we scroll down, right here, we can see it says round 2. So Galen knows it's time for round 2, and Galen knows the LI knows what we've already done, and the LI knows what we need to do for this round.
Excellent.
And there's some people that, let me pull up someone that I know I've done more rounds on. Let's see what Thomas Lynch looks like. If I do the expansion, so right here, it knows that for Thomas Lynch, it's time for round 4.
Yeah, because all these rounds, I think by law, you can only do up to 6 rounds per period, right? It's only a 6 months period. If they want to go ahead and advance, they have to do another 6 months.
Correct. But what we have to understand is round 4 doesn't necessarily mean 4 months. It could be the first 2 months, because we're doing an attack every 15 days.
Oh, I see. That's why we have up to 9 rounds.
10 rounds plus. Yeah.
Oh, 10 rounds. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And just for clarification, Rodney can correct me on this if I'm wrong. So let's say I have a client where I've done my first 3 attacks, and then it's time for the next attack. And for whatever reason, the client can't afford to pay me at the time. And they're like, hey, can we take a 30-day break, or can we take a 60-day break, which is not uncommon. It happens. I, of course, say absolutely. When they get back to me and they want to start up again, I'm starting over. Okay? Because too much time has elapsed between my last attack. We want to start over fresh. So if a client, for whatever reason, exceeds 45 days between attacks, I'm starting over.
Okay.
This is Keisha. I have a question after you guys are done.
Sure.
I have affiliate that I like to bring over to the Metro2 into Gala software. If she's on the call, they bring her over as an affiliate on free credit score now.
Okay, so you said affiliate. Are you talking a true affiliate, or are you talking a client?
A true affiliate.
Okay.
Okay, so she's on Metro2. I mean, she's on free credit score.
My free score now.
Yeah, free score now. She's there already. So we did a call with a couple.
Okay.
She wants to also come into.
She wants to start using M2 Gala as well.
Yes. Now.
Okay.
We I know we kicked the call off with you showing us how to do a attack, but if you could give her a story of to Gala's We would greatly appreciate that. She's
Okay, so
listening.
is she currently set up? Does she have an M2 Gala account? Has she created an account yet?
I don't know. Kim, you could speak. I don't think so because we weren't sure.
Okay.
That
So what Rodney
over.
has mentioned earlier, if someone is brand new and they want to generate an attack live on the training, he would gift them a credit so that we can do their attack for them.
Kim, would you like to do your attack?
Yes. Hi, I'm Kimberly. I asked a question earlier.
Okay.
Yes. So I would be interested.
Okay.
Signing up and doing an attack.
Okay. Have you created your M2 Gala? Have you registered an account with M2 Gala as of yet?
No, I did the free score first.
So you've already signed up with My Free Score now as an affiliate.
Yes.
Okay. So what you want to do is you're going to want to register an account. So let me log out. So you're going to go to m2gala.com. That's www.m2gala.com. And you're going to click right here where it says register. And you're going to enter your first and last name, your My Free Score Now affiliate email. You don't have to put in a phone number. You're going to put in your My Free Score Now username and My Free Score Now password, and you're going to register your account. Okay.
Okay. So I don't go into log in my account. I have to make one.
For Gala, yes, you're going to have to register an account with Gala so that you can create client profiles and generate an attack. Yes.
Let me make one modification. What you said there, Brent. What he said was 100% right. But there's additional where the second time you enter the email, that can be any email, but it's whatever you're using to log into Gala with. If you want to use the same email used for My Free Score Now, then of course you can use that. But let's say you don't want to use that. Let's say you want to use another one. You can. You can create any.
Yeah, your username for Gala could be anything you want it to be. So if your business name is, first class credit, you could do first or first class credit.
Right. You can do anything you want to. Exactly.
Absolutely, you can do that.
But when you log in, you got to use whatever you put in this box right here. You got to use that and that password.
Yeah, as your username. Correct.
Right. You just can't log in just as your email only, unless it's your username.
I use my email for my username. So then I log in. So once you're logged in, you can then go to the client list and you can create your client profile. And then once you have that client profile created, you have your identification documents uploaded. If you've got credits, you can generate your attack.
Okay, so I just made it. So now, and I use the same email that I had.
Okay, so let me go to a different screen, or let me go to a different browser that y'all aren't going to see. And let me look. Okay, so I see you, Kimberly Saunders. Okay, so we're going to give you the Gala credit.
She also donated $25, so we'll give her that as well.
Okay, so we're going to give her.
Congrats, Kim. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
When you sign it, Brent, sign it under complimentary. That way we don't charge you for it.
Oh, man, this is getting all kinds of craziness.
Yes.
That's good crazy though, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's good craziness. Okay, so save. Okay, so you have those credits have already been applied to your account. So now, how do we want to do this, Raphael? Do we want to give her the ability to share her screen so that I can walk her through creating the profile and generating the attack?
That's probably a good idea.
Okay, so let me stop sharing. So if you want to give her that ability, and then we can have her share her screen and we can walk her through.
Arlie, can we make her, or I think you have to make her host. So you click on the little 3 buttons next to her name, whoever's the host right now, and then you allow her to be host.
Yeah, Brent's the host, but I could take over real quick. So let me reclaim host.
All right.
Who is the one that we're making host?
Her name is Kimberly Saunders.
Kimberly
Saunders.
All right, there we go. You helped me out by speaking. All right, thank you. Okay, Kimberly, you are officially the host.
So go ahead. You can go ahead and share your screen so that we can see, be logged into Gala so that we can see your screen and we can go through the process of creating the client profile and generating the attack.
Okay. Is it there?
I'm not seeing anything yet. Do you know how to share your screen?
There it is. Is that it?
I'm not seeing anything, no. So you'll click that green button that's at the bottom that says share, and you'll get a pop-up of what browsers you have open. Click on the browser for the Gala account.
Okay. So I go share my camera.
Hey, Kimberly, you on your phone or your laptop?
My phone. Should I get on my laptop?
Yeah,
no,
you're
you
gonna
can
need
go.
to be
It's
on
the
your
same
laptop.
thing. So click on the screen. I mean, you can still do it, but it's up to you. Click on the screen, and then in the bottom you'll see like the it's mute, start video, and then the fourth option, it'll say share with like a little box, like a little folder with the arrow pointing up. That's share.
Hey, I got a question, guys. Miss Saunders, I've already credited your account that you sent me to, and you're registering again. So you have to use the account that you sent to me that I gave you credit on. The one you had put in the chat box, I guess it was.
That was my email.
Right. So that's what I credited your account with under that name. You already credited the account, hadn't you? Because I found the Saunders with that email and it worked.
Oh, okay.
Let me make sure. Yeah, because when you do it, that's why I have to, slow down here. Let me see.
Do you see my
Kimberly,
screen?
yeah, Kimberly Saunders at K Treasure LLC.
Yes.
Yeah, you've already been credited, sweetie. So use that username. So you had your email as a username. So just use that. You should be able to log on in with your whatever password you use.
So log out this one I just made? Because I just made.
Well, if you just made another one, it's gonna cause it's hard for me to assign the right credit. So yeah, use the one it's gonna be your username is gonna be your email address. Kimberly Saunders at ktreasuresllc.com. That's your username.
Okay, let me log out of this then. Can you see my screen?
You got lied to you. Your username is your name, Kimberly Saunders.
Yeah, right. I'm not seeing a screen being shared yet.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
Yeah, so when it's just you like right. Your name is your username. That's what you signed as your username.
So what do you see now? Because I do say I'm sharing.
I'm not seeing anything.
Well, if you type in just her first and last name.
No. I'm talking about. I don't see a screen being shared.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll type in the chat box here what your username is, how you register exactly.
Yeah, so you're going to want to. Okay, so now.
Yeah, that was confusing.
So you're going to want to log into Gala. Once you're logged into Gala,
here it
you're
is,
going to want to share that screen.
Is that it? Can you see it?
Okay, I see Gala.
Yes, we
so
can
go
see
ahead
your
and log
screen.
in.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and log in.
So to not confuse me.
So I'm gonna spell it out for you. You got K Treasure LLC is what you're logging in under, right?
She's logged in. She's sharing.
Okay. I didn't see. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying mind that.
Okay.
All right. So
go ahead and click close where it says close. Go ahead. Okay. So now, where you see those lines on the top left, click that and go to client list. And so add new client. And so you want to put your client's My Free Score Now username and password.
So I could just use their name, right?
Have they already registered with My Free Score Now? Have they already created an account?
I'm gonna use myself. Okay. I'll use myself. I made an account.
Yes, you want to use yourself, Kim.
Okay.
But use the login that you use for free score now. Use that login right there. Okay.
All right.
Is Kimora Saunders somebody else, right? Or is that
that's my daughter?
Oh, okay.
So that's my daughter. So now submit, put in my personal information.
Correct. and you want to type it in you want it to be 100% correct. So the address, everything you want to be correct. But when it comes time to typing in like the address, you want to make sure you spell everything out. So if it's street, you want to spell out street. If it's avenue, spell out avenue.
Okay, no abbreviations.
Correct.
So for example, when it's southeast or southwest, can we just put SW? We have to put straight.
No, you want to spell
No.
out if it's northwest, you spell out the word northwest.
Perfect. Thank you.
I have a question. So the ID must match, that state ID have to match the proof of address or no?
The proof of address needs to match the address you enter in the profile.
It doesn't have to match the state ID.
Correct.
Okay.
Because I'm a prime example of that. I upgraded from a 1-bedroom to a 2-bedroom. The apartment address on my ID is the 1-bedroom, even though I'm now in a 2-bedroom.
At the same
But
address?
my proof of address does match. And do not capitalize.
Okay.
Only capitalize the first letter of the word. And
Sorry, I
type
have
out
one more question. I'm
type
so
out the
sorry.
word north. Don't put in for north. Type out the word
Your
north.
ID and your proof of address have to match.
No, it was about some. So I'm doing something right now, but they got 2 last names because they're married.
Don't put apartment. Just put the number.
Okay.
Yeah. So do New Orleans Street and then the apartment number.
Okay.
And put a capital S for street. I know it's a lot, but we want you to make
No,
sure.
it's I do taxes, so everything is varying. I understand. I have no problem with this. Okay, the state is Illinois, zip code.
The name of the
US.
street needs to be capital.
Oh yeah. Yeah, New Orleans.
The
Yeah,
first
everything needs to
letter.
be capital. Correct.
If I'm responding to your emails with a heart, that means that I've taken record of your donation and I'm sending it to Rodney. FYI.
Okay, so that's Orleans
Thank
Street.
you.
Now, can I use the same email that I use for myself, or should I use another email?
You could use the same email.
Okay.
Raphael,
You guys got me working. I love it.
Raphael,
Yes, sir.
did you get my $75?
Christopher, what's the well, hold on. Let me check. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm seeing, boy, a lot of people have donated. This is awesome.
Okay, now right here, do I put my ID?
So you're going to want to upload a screenshot of your, it can't be a PDF. It has to be a screenshot or an image. So you want to upload your, the image of your driver's license or state issued ID, whether that's a PDF or.
Hey, Brent, you said JPEG or PNG, right?
Correct. JPEG or PNG. It can't be like a PDF. It has to be an actual image.
Ooh, we got a big donation.
Raphael, do you see
Rolando
my...
I'm looking. Give me 1 second.
Go ahead.
I'm just going down my list like in order that it came. So what would be the name of the company?
It's
or the email?
Fixed Credit Now.
Credit Now. Okay,
I'll look for it. Don't worry about your personal identifiers. I'm sure before they post the video, they're gonna blur it out.
You can include your personal identifiers with your letters, just for the demonstration purposes.
Like, for example, we can we put it like, if I have an image, put it on Word and then just upload it?
Say that again. There you go.
Upload it on Word?
Can you upload it from Word?
Yes.
Words, no, it has to be an image. It can't be like a Word document or a PDF. It has to be uploaded as an image.
Okay. Rolando. Thank you very much, Mr. Rolando. Mr. Rolando donated $500.
Wow.
Incredible. Awesome.
I think half of that was mine, though.
That's a woman for you.
You had 250 for me, 250 for you. Nice.
Save some dogs.
Hey guys,
Okay.
I got a rocking charity. I ain't had no sushi in a while.
Mr. John B said he don't want his credits. He just donated 100. But we're gonna give him his credits because that was part of the deal.
Absolutely. We give it, or he can donate to somebody else he wants to.
I'll take them.
I'll take them. I'll take them.
Well, just message Raphael where you want the credits to go to, because we're gonna give them out.
We said Connie Thomas.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
My ID, I had, because you said I had it scanned in my phone. Was it okay to do the front and back copy?
I only use the front, but including the back's not going to hurt anything.
Okay.
It doesn't help either. I mean, it's just the back. It won't help or hurt.
Okay, now
you have more space.
Excuse me, I have a little confusion. Like, for example, for all documents, they need to be a screenshot. We can like have it like in PDA words and make a screenshot from the computer, right?
Yes, sir. It has to be a screenshot or an image. It cannot be a PDF.
Oh, okay.
The system will allow you to upload a PDF, or at least it used to allow you to upload a PDF, but it will not actually put it on the letters.
Básicamente lo que está diciendo es que le puede tomar foto con el teléfono, con la cámara.
Sí.
Y luego puede meterse a la foto y ajustarlo. Puede cortar si lo tomó foto arriba de un folder de su computadora, puede editar la foto a nomás lo que sea, la identificación, el driver's license, la ID, lo que sea.
Okay.
Sí, así yo la hago.
Thank you, John.
What he said.
Yeah.
So I have a question. I am waiting on, I have an issue. My social security card was still in my married name. So I've been waiting on them to send me my updated, because I went back to my maiden name. What other document can I put? Can I use the tax paper?
You can. You can use
government issued.
Yeah.
So anything government or state issued.
Okay. So there's my utility bill.
Okay.
You don't always have to send a social security card, though.
Well, you don't have to legally, but they don't have to work with you if you don't. So it's one of them things you're not required to do it, but they're also not required to take you as a client. And when you're writing a letter to them, you're lining up with them as a client. You're a consumer client. So like when you go into a convenience store, you ain't gotta wear shoes in the outside public, but you go in their store, you gotta wear shoes, right? So it's the same logic. So even though you don't legally have to, it really what's and they're not gonna do anything with it. I mean, there's no point in not giving it to them.
It's better to just do everything right to kind of, cross out.
Your bigger argument is on the items, not the person identifiers. And really, if you don't include your social security card or your identifications, it really only affects personal identifiers. It won't affect the actual items itself unless they're tied to a specific identifier you didn't identify. So let's say you don't include your social security number, but a charge-off is linked to a social security number, and you didn't include that information. That charge-off is going to be very difficult to get off because you're not cutting the link off. You're not cutting that screen like we talked about last week.
Correct.
That does not mean it won't come off. It just means it's going to be a little tougher,
So do you have the ID documents uploaded?
Yes, I uploaded the ID, and I was looking for, my last thing was, you got to use a W-2, right? Because I don't have my social, it's in my maiden name. So I'm waiting on them to send me that. So I can come back and just continue and finish that on my own.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what's the next thing? So
so now that you want to save the profile, right there where it says add profile.
Okay.
And what that's going to do is that's going to save the profile, and it's going to upload your Epic Pro report.
Hey, Brent.
Yes.
Remind the developers to go in there and change that to save profile as opposed to add profile. That way somebody don't think they're trying to add a new profile at the same time.
Okay, so it's saying that the username and password you entered for their credit monitoring is different than what's for the Epic Pro report.
But what does that mean?
So it's saying that the username and password you entered for their credit monitoring is not their actual username and password.
That was mine. So I need to go back and fix that.
Yes.
Put in correct information. Yes.
Put in free score now. Whatever you use for free
My free
score
now. Yeah.
Brent?
Yes.
If I go into myfreescore.com account, which has been set up, how do I look for Metro2?
You're not going to find Metro2 and if you log into MyFreeScore now.
Oh, how do I get to it?
Metro, are you talking about your Epic Pro report?
Yes, I mean.
Okay, your Epic, you'll log into your MyFreeScore Now affiliate account.
Yeah, my affiliate account. I'm in it right now.
Okay, if you go to Raphael's with MyFreeScore Now, he can walk you, step by step on how to get to the Epic Pro report. I don't have it in front of me.
Oh, okay. No, that's good. That's all I needed to know. I didn't know.
Okay.
Where do I go to change the information? Is it right here?
It's a little hard for me to see because you're using a phone.
Oh, okay. I think it's right. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, right here. Yeah, where it says credit monitoring. Correct.
Okay.
So you want to enter the username is going to be I see the issue. For credit monitoring, your MyFreeScore Now username and password. The username is always an email address.
Okay, I got it then. All right, I know.
I'm sorry, question real quick. So there's a person that I'm doing, but she has 2 last names, right? She's married. But her, what is it? Like, it's not matching on her oh man. Something about her 2 last names ain't matching. She want to use her maiden name. Oh gosh, now I forgot the question. I'll come back. Let me look at the text.
This is what I personally do. I enter what's on the ID.
Okay, so just enter what's on the ID.
That's what I do. Rodney may have a different perspective, but what I do is I enter what's on the ID.
Okay, and that's it. Okay.
I think I'm gonna have to come back. Lord have mercy. I'm gonna try one more time.
Well, what I'm seeing is I'm not seeing an email address that you're putting in for the username for the credit monitoring. Right there. Okay. Go to where it's asking for credit monitoring.
Okay. Is that up right here?
No.
Keep going.
Like I said, I've never worked on Gala on a phone, so this is all kind of foreign to me.
It's at the top, Kim.
It's at the top.
Yeah, it's gonna say click.
Right here. Okay. So personal information. Okay, that's correct. Okay, scroll down.
You just scroll down slowly.
Right here.
No, keep going.
No.
Whoever sent me 150 for CCD Solutions LLC, please give me a message and let me know what username you are.
Okay, so right there, keep going to the right. Click the pencil. Now make sure that the username is correct and that the password is correct for their MyFreeScore Now account.
Rodney, what did you say?
Somebody with a let me go back to it again. CCD Solutions LLC. They sent me money in Bank of America Zelle, but they didn't include their username, so I have no clue who it is.
Yes.
Which one?
CCD Solutions LLC.
CCD.
You could just raffle off those tokens.
They donated to me. They sent their money to me directly.
Oh, okay. So they want you to
right.
Make the donation
So
on their
I'll be
behalf.
right. So I'll turn around and give it to MyFreeScore Now to turn in a donation.
Oh, got it.
Okay. So did you correct the username and password?
You know what? Because I was not. I was being lazy in my car. I'm walking into my house. I was just not trying to mix the Zoom because I don't work on my phone either. So if you could pass it along, give me if whatever you want to do, I understand.
Hey,
Danny, Lola, come here.
Hey, Brent.
Yes.
Go ahead and work with her individually, and I'll give you the ability to go ahead and give her credit then, and go ahead and move on to somebody else right now.
Yeah. Take me out. Thank you. And I'm gonna walk in now.
All right. Well, he'll still give you the free credit, the free attack for you. So just get live with him.
Yeah, reach out to me tomorrow because after we get off the call tonight, I've got another call.
Okay.
Okay. Is anybody else, if there is anybody else set up and ready to go that would like to do a walkthrough?
Is there any way I can contact you or contact somebody?
You can, yeah, you can contact me. You can message me through Messenger. Absolutely.
Hey, this is Keisha. I'm ready to go through. I'm all username.
Okay.
Did a few weeks ago,
so
but we can do another one.
y'all want to give Keisha the ability to share her screen so that we can do a walkthrough with her?
Yep, give me a second.
When I see her using it, I go on here and I go ahead and make sure she has a credit for it, or if she's using one, I go ahead and give it right back to her immediately. So I'll be watching you guys to see what's going on.
Lisa, if you're on, I need your email for your Gala account. Lisa Davis.
Is it Keisha B?
Yes.
Okay.
My dog keeps hearing us talk about dog donations, so she's up here on the table wanting to know what's going on.
You want to know?
Well,
She wants to know.
Show her.
Keisha B, you are the host now. You
There
can
she
share your
is.
screen.
Aw.
My little French bulldog. Say hi.
That ain't little.
That's the one that's been making that snoring sound, guys.
That's
It's
the
not
one
it's
that-
not
yeah.
an affiliate. It's not an affiliate.
Yeah, she's not little. She's 27 pounds, which is big for a female Frenchie.
Are you calling that girl fat?
Oh, she's not fat. She's healthy.
Oh, okay.
Big boned it.
Can you guys see my screen?
I can. So yeah, she'll share.
Chris, I sent you a chat in the on the chat group. Christopher P.
Yes.
I sent you a chat. We could respond to the chat. Yes, Connie, we got you. Or what do you mean by what about me?
That's what I meant.
Okay.
Okay. If you got my email.
Yep.
Thank
I
you.
responded with a heart.
Oh.
So basically, when I'm responding to your heart, that means I've sent the information over to Rodney.
Okay, so let's those little lines, the lines at the top. Click. Okay, there we go. So go ahead and go to client list. And so have you already created the profile, or are you wanting to create a profile?
We just using me. We're gonna use
Okay.
me.
So you're ready to do your next attack, or
yeah,
you don't have any identification documents uploaded that I can see?
Did I don't know why we don't see it on the phone. When I print the letters out, it does give me.
Okay. So let's go ahead and go to attack area.
I will upload again, but it should be there.
You know what? I think I did see that there was a image name. Okay, so you need to have you logged into MyFreeScore now and refreshed your credit report? See that yellow tab right there? I'm glad we saw that. See that yellow tab? Okay, so have you refreshed your credit report in MyFreeScore now?
Come on, Miss Beans.
No,
Get it, girl. Get it, girl.
Hey, Arlie, do you know the last 4 digits of the dog rescue phone number? Apparently, that's people are it's asking for that.
It must be because there's so many donations they're asking for it now. That's good though. That's a good problem.
Do affiliate login or member login?
Member login, so you can refresh your report.
Let's try 9997.
So far, we've raised over $1,500, guys.
Wow!
Boom and wow! Boom, boom, boom.
What was that number?
Okay. Yeah.
9997. Let me know if that works. That's the number of the coordinator.
Oh.
But she has everything tied to her, so.
Hey, it sounds good to me.
Future store. And so where do I go to upload this? Update it.
Okay, so you
you're going to
refreshed
go
it.
to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, you go ahead.
Okay, go back to
update
Gala.
it.
Oh, to update it. Okay.
Update it.
Scroll up to where you can see where it says 3B report. Okay, see the little lines? Click on the lines at the top right.
Okay.
And then scroll down. You're gonna see where it says 3B reports. There you go. Click on 3B reports. And then right there, see your report is 238 days old. So go ahead and click where it says order an update now. Scroll down a little bit and then click that box and click. You're not being charged. You've got updates available. Okay, so now you've got an updated report. So now you can go back to Gala and you want to go to client list. And then to the, see there, that's client list. So click on your name. Like I said, this looks a little different to me than what I'm normal. Can you scroll? No? You should be able to go to the client list and you should be able to upload the new report. Let me log on my phone. No, you don't want to delete the client. Let me log on to Gala on my phone and see if I can.
To do something else.
Oh yeah, can you scroll to the right? Do you have that ability? Okay, there you go. See where it says import report? Okay, and go ahead and scroll to the right. Keep going. And then see that center button that looks like the arrow pointing down? Click that. And now it's going to upload your refreshed Epic Pro report. Okay, so now you've got your uploaded report. So now you can go to the attack area. Okay, see that client
info? This is not working. Yeah.
See where it says client info and it's yellow? That means something is missing. So click on that client info tab. Okay, so let's scroll down and see what's missing. Okay, your date of birth is missing. So you want to make sure, so enter your date of birth correctly. Oh, wow, that's awesome, Rodney. Are y'all seeing what Rodney just put in the chat? So you're doing a bring one. So B1, bring one, get 1 day unlimited attacks per MyFreeScore Now signee that you bring to the next call next week.
That's right. And then further than that, and more than that, if they had made a purchase, you'll get their credit out of your account for free as well. So if you bring in 5 people, you don't buy 5 attacks, and to start the next call next week, you'll get 5 times 5, 25 attacks out of yours free.
Plus, they get a free day of unlimited attack.
But you gotta bring them. You gotta bring them. Yeah. Plus, you get a 1 day free unlimited attacks if you bring somebody. For everybody bring. So you bring 5 people, you get 5 free days of unlimited attacks. You bring 30 people, you got a whole month. You bring 365 people, you got a whole year. Bring people, bring them. But they got to be a MyFreeScore Now sign up. That's key. Otherwise, they can't use the software anyway. That's the whole point.